Good morning, everyone. I want to first start off by thanking all of our district managers and staff who are on call today. Today, we are pleased to be joined by the New York City Fire Department, and I want to thank the fire department for being here. And of course, we just memorialized the 20th anniversary of 9/11. So, of course, want to pay homage and thank those who paid the ultimate sacrifice for us to be here today during those attacks. The FDNY is known as the largest fire department in the United States and has been recognized as the world's most highly skilled emergency response agency. Since its establishment in 1865, the FDNY has not only responded to over 1 million emergencies each year, but also has made continuous efforts to prevent them by educating the residents of New York. This morning, we are joined by educator Captain Paul Calabella. Paul has been with the department for 31 years and has been a part of the fire safety education team for the past 3 years. Captain Calabella will present us with some statistics and some causes of fires. He will also educate us on types of structural buildings, escape plans, and more. Welcome to Captain Calabella. You may proceed.
Okay, good morning. Thank you for having me this morning. It's my pleasure to be here, and I just am overwhelmed by the response that we got from the community out in Queens and everywhere about the 20th anniversary of 9/11. We were in Rochdale Village on Saturday, and hundreds of people came up to me at a fall festival there and thanking us for our service, and it was just a tremendous event. So thank you for that. I just want to start off by reminding everybody, if you could share this important information about two very important initiatives we're starting here. First is the Sound the Alarm program, which provides combination CO and smoke alarms to anybody in the city of New York that needs them. They simply have to reach out to the Red Cross by dialing 1-877 Red Cross, or go on the website and follow a link to sound the alarm. We've got federal grant money that allows us to provide and install these detectors to anybody that needs them. We've got teams going out every day. We've got thousands of the alarms waiting. And we're going out 5 days a week. We're targeting right now some of the community boards, I would say like 4, 12, and 13. And we're targeting with some outreach where we go and make a little bit stronger push on spreading the news in Jamaica, Queens Village, Hollis, St. Albans, Corona, and Jackson Heights. But again, this is for anybody and everybody. So we're telling people, tell your parents, tell your brothers and sisters, tell your neighbors. We want to get these detectors in these houses where they belong. So that is very important. And the other campaign we're trying to push is Close the Door. If I could just highlight the Jackson Heights fire in the spring, where we had major devastation with, I don't know how many families were displaced. We had an 8-alarm fire. The cause of that was twofold. There was a delay in calling 911. And the second issue was the door to the apartment was left open. People need to understand the importance of how fire spreads. And by simply closing a door would have contained that fire and brought us valuable time into limiting it to that one apartment. So, and I tell everybody too, the most important thing you could be really in a fire is to remain calm. When you're the opposite of that, you're panicked. And when you're panicked, you make bad decisions. So there was a bad decision going back to that Jackson Heights fire with a delay in calling 911, right? I guess it's pretty typical for somebody to panic and flee the apartment. The door was left open and there was searched for the superintendent. So there's valuable time being lost there with the door open and nobody calling 911. So now you got to look for the super, find the super, make your way back up to the 5th or 6th floor. So critical time is lost, right? Fires start small, but a fire doubles in size every 1 minute. If you could just think about that statistic, a fire doubles in size every 1 minute. So trust me, it's really not long before you've got a major fire on your hands. And our response time in the city of New York is about 4.5 minutes, which is pretty fast, right? But if we don't get that call, we can't make that up. I believe in Jackson Heights, I think the first unit was there in less than 4 minutes, like way below our normal response time. But there minutes went by before somebody was called. So don't assume somebody else called. It's normal for us to get multiple calls when there's working fire, 5, 6, a dozen calls. So don't think somebody else called, call. If you could remember the importance and share the information and the importance of closing a door is critical to limit fire spread, especially in a multiple dwelling. And in Queens, we've got all types, right? We've got Left Rack City, we've got the Rockaways, and we've got high rises. And the higher you go, the more wind has an impact on fires. And these tall buildings are pressurized, the stairwells are pressurized, when windows are left open and when doors are left open, it just makes the impact of that door being left open even worse. So far this year, we've had 41 fatal fires, which is about average. I believe last year we had 66. So we're on track of being average. Of those, 11 were in Queens. So maybe a little bit disproportionate. But the interesting thing, though, was disproportionately seniors. A lot of our fatal fires this year were seniors. So we want to reach out to our seniors. We want to make sure that they get these new detectors, because these new detectors have a 10-year seal lithium battery. We used to have a campaign where we used to remind people to change their batteries, right? Twice a year when we changed the clocks in the spring and fall. I never felt comfortable about asking a senior to get up on her stool, her ladder, her chair, whatever, and go reach up over their heads and change that 9-volt battery, right? So very often they're alone in the home. So now this is a new detector with a 10-year seal lithium battery. So even if you know folks that have working detectors, have them reach out to the Red Cross to get the newer technology where you don't have to worry about changing the batteries, okay? They've got dual technology. So we kind of, hurdle another problem for us where people would drop the battery when they had cooking or some steam sets off, used to set these off in the kitchen. So people were in the habit of dropping the battery to stop that piercing alarm with an old detector. So these also have dual technology where it eliminates a lot of those nuisance alarms. So this is critical. There's no excuse. We're trying to get people to drop all their reservations about reaching out to the Red Cross. We're not interested in anything else about getting these where they belong. So we're trying to cut through any barriers people might have or any reservations about allowing somebody into their home. It sounds too good to be true, but it's simply that. We've got about 10,000 of these detectors in a warehouse here, and we're sending out teams every day. So that's critical. And if I could just switch now over a little about a fire safety plan. Like I said, the most important thing is remaining calm, right? When you panic, you make bad decisions. And the two best ways to remain calm is one, early detection. That's where this comes in. And the second is by having a plan. And you need the detectors now because fires are a little different now. Let's think a minute when we were young, right? Right? Your TV was in a wood cabinet. Your furniture was made of real wood. Your mattress was filled with cotton, right? Things burned slower. Things burned a little different. Now, every fire can almost be likened to a chemical fire, right? The TV is a big chunk of plastic that's hanging on the wall. Your furniture is particle board that's held together with glue. Your mattress is filled with polyurethane. So trust me, you have no time. These fires are burning hot. They're very toxic, right? Fires 25 years ago had a lot less toxicity to it. 1 or 2 breaths now and you're unconscious. This is no joke. Time is against you. You got to have the early detection, all right? And people have to understand how fast fire spreads, and what's burning is carbon rich, and it's a very, very different fire. So that's critical, and you got to have a plan. and we kind of break it up into what type of building you would live in. Seniors, especially seniors that live in high-rise multiple dwellings, should shelter in place, okay? Panic sets in. It's your natural tendency to want to run out of the apartment. But trust me, if you're on the 14th floor in a fireproof building, all right, you're perfectly safe sheltering in place in your apartment. Unless the fire is directly in your apartment, you should not put yourself in a smoke-filled hallway or a smoke-filled stairwell, or certainly not an elevator, okay? It's critical that they remember that, okay? Because you're very much likely to be overcome in a smoke-filled stairwell. The fire department sometimes uses the stairwell to funnel smoke out of the building, all right? People have been killed in the stairwell 8 floors above the fire, okay? Stay out of the stairwell, stay out of the elevator, stay out of the hallway. I don't care if the fire is next door. You shelter in place if you live in a fireproof class 1 multiple dwelling, okay? If you live in a fireproof multiple, if a non-fireproof multiple dwelling, right? Obviously one that has fire escapes, our plan is to evacuate the building. Anytime there's a fire, anywhere in that building, you want to evacuate. You should have 2 ways of escape. Obviously, if you can't get out into the public hallway, the fire might be down the hall. You could have a smoke-filled hallway. Now we're going to plan B, which is the fire escape. The fire escape window should be easily openable. The window should stay open without it sliding back down. You should have a screen that's easily removable. There shouldn't be an air conditioner in the way. There shouldn't be plants that slow you down. There shouldn't be heavy furniture that slows you down. Remember, time is critical. You get yourself out onto the fire escape and you'll be assisted down to street level. Remember, our response time is 4.5 minutes. I know it's frightening to be out on a fire escape, but trust me, once the fire department comes, you'll be assisted down. You should go over this with your family. And if you live in a private dwelling, obviously we're going to evacuate if there's a fire anywhere in the building. Discuss 2 ways out. If you can't get down the stairs, you might have to get out onto a roof setback, back door, front door, side door, whatever it is. Okay, and it's critical if you have young ones at home that they understand that everybody should go to a common, safe meeting place that has been discussed by the family. We've had tragic stories of moms and dads and brothers going back into burning buildings to look for children that were unaccounted for, that were already safely outside. So it's critical part of your evacuation plan to have a safe meeting place outside. Okay, real quick, the most common types of fire usually are and still are kitchen, electrical, and smoking. I believe so far this year, it's been electrical that's been topped our list and has to do with overloaded power strips. The Jackson Heights 8-alarm fire, overloaded power strip. Okay, a couple of fatal fires in Manhattan, overloaded power strip. Okay, people need to understand that this does not increase the amperage or the wattage or the panel or the service in your home. This is a convenience item that is meant to be used near the bed, maybe near the end table for your phone charger, your alarm clock, your Alexa app, the lamp, stuff like that is okay. Maybe near the TV or the computer where you got your modem, your router, your flat screen TV is okay. But this should never be used in the kitchen or for an appliance. An appliance is simply anything that gets hot or cold, right? There's alternating current. They have compressors and thermostats. Wires heat up, wires cool down, wires expand, wires contract, all right? It's never meant to go through any type of an extension cord, which basically this is an extension cord. It's another version of an extension cord. So for example, like a toaster oven, an electric blanket, a curling iron, a blow dryer, a microwave, right? An air conditioner, a refrigerator, never should be plugged into here. Never, never. Okay, so this is the issue we're finding. People in small apartments with limited outlets are using these on the kitchen counter, the coffee maker, the air fryer, the blender. Okay, these are all appliances. The ironing board, not good. So please pass that information along. It doesn't matter if it has a surge protector. A surge protector is only an additional feature that prevents your expensive TV from getting blown out when you've got power that's fully restored, possibly after a blackout or during an electrical storm. But don't get fooled into thinking that thing could be used in the kitchen. So very important that we never run these extension cords underneath any carpet, and there should never be anything joined one into another. You don't want to split these. Appliances should be plugged directly into the wall outlet. People should be encouraged to call an electrician if they don't have enough outlets. All right, moving along now to kitchen safety, which is another most common type of fire. It always starts in the kitchen. People get burned and fires always start in the kitchen. And it has to do with unattended cooking, right? Let's face it, people are busy, they're multitasking. Encourage people to focus on what's going on in the kitchen, especially if you're heating up oil. People are preparing to fry. They think they have time to go do laundry or go make a phone call or help the kids with homework while they're waiting for that oil to heat up to that perfect fry temperature. And this is where they're getting jammed up, right? Too much going on at once. They get back to the kitchen and something's already gotten a bit out of hand. So we want to encourage people to always have an oven mitt. It's really very important. There's no substitute for it. Don't get in the habit of using a dish towel. Dish towels hang down, they catch fire. Get yourself an oven mitt. 2 is better than 1, especially when you're pulling something out of a heavy oven. People get burned when they have 1. They grab something that's hot, it falls. Very important with that. Also, like I said, fire needs air to burn, right? So by simply smothering a fire with a tight-fitting lid, you eliminate the air is one of the best ways to handle a stovetop fire in something that's gotten out of hand, especially hot oil, okay? If you could come up on this with a gloved hand and smother it is great. The last thing you want to do is start running around the house with a hot pan with hot oil, okay? This heat will transfer through the handle. You'll feel your hand burn. You'll drop this on the carpet and you'll have a bigger problem. You don't want to throw water on it, smother it. But how many people have nice tight fitting lids on all their pans? Take a look in your cabinets right now. I bet you'll be hard pressed to find, cookware that has a nice tight fitting lid. People don't update their cookware as often as they should. If you're still using old pans, Teflon pans, that's starting to break down, it's not healthy, it's not safe. If you don't have a nice tight fitting lid, it's time to upgrade your cookware, okay? Be careful with electric ranges, especially the newer ones, right? They have a nice glass top, a nice solid surface. People are misusing that as additional counter space, okay? The new glass electric stoves. A lot of people think gas stoves are more dangerous. The newer electric stoves are more dangerous for fire. People in smaller apartments with limited counter space, they put paper towels on the glass top. They put the dish tag on the glass top. They put paper plates on the glass top. You're not always sure when all of those burners are warm. Be careful with a new glass or ceramic electric cooktop. Okay, very dangerous that you keep that area clear. Be careful with self-cleaning ovens, all right? Those things have caused a lot of fire, right? The doors lock. You can't always open the door. If you've got a lot of grease built up in the oven, it works by extremely high temperatures. I'd be very wary of using a self-cleaning oven feature. I always say, like, a clean house is a safe house, especially when you're in and around the kitchen, all right? Can't let too much grease build up around the stove, please. Cooking safety is, everybody should be aware of that. Even the kids, we noticed during the COVID, a lot of kids that were remote learning at home, all of a sudden they're cooking for themselves, right? They used to being fed in the cafeteria. Now, all of a sudden it's lunchtime. These kids are hungry and they're on the stove. Do they know that you can't stick a fork in a toaster oven, right? When the English muffin doesn't pop out without unplugging it? Do they know you can't put aluminum foil in a microwave? So we found that a lot more kids are being a little creative in the kitchen nowadays. So I'm going to wrap it up with just one last mention also about the smoking and candles, always a popular item. We're urging people to switch over to the obviously the battery operated candle if they can. Smoking still remains the #1 deadly fire because, you know, when fires start, people that are smoke, they're smoking in bed. They smoke while they're drinking alcohol. They're smoking, you know, possibly on medication. So I realize it's an addiction and they need it first thing in the morning, sometimes last thing before they go to bed. But when that ash just drops itself in a smoldering mattress, once that mattress ignites, it's a very smoky, very hot fire that's very difficult to escape. So I'd like to offer up any the possibility for anybody to offer me to ask some questions. But again, just a reminder, the two major initiatives are the Sound the Alarm program and the Close the Door campaign. So I don't want to take up too much of your time. If there's any other questions I could answer, I'll be happy to do so at this point.
Thank you, Captain Calabella, for a great presentation. In light of some of the stuff we've seen recently around Ida, what are you doing any preparation or seminars around basement apartments as well? I don't know if this is your department, but I just wanted to see what are you thinking along those lines?
Well, I don't know what this unit is doing, but I know the IMT is doing, the incident management team is doing some research on how we can help. But people have to understand the implications during flooding and how it affects the electrical components and all the dangers. People aren't really aware of the dangers of flooding, like how you can see how fast the water fills an area and they don't understand the weight of water and how you could be simply standing in the wrong spot and a sewer or a drainage area could have been clogged and it looks like it's standing water, and all of a sudden now that drainage is cleared and you've got a tremendous amount of force that will pull anything down that drain. So there are a lot of things that we could do to educate the public. Obviously, this isn't fire related, but it's a good point that the borough president brings up because a lot of people are unaware of some of the things about fire safety. But like flooding, a lot of people, lay people, aren't aware of the dangers that are involved with the weight of the water, the force of the water. When you're in a car that's flooding, do you roll the windows down? Do you open the window? Do you avoid certain areas? So this is something that should be addressed on I think a deeper scale. And if we could coordinate with Tiffany and possibly lead somebody in the right direction to get some of these seminars out, I think it's a great idea.
You said 4, 12, and 13 were where you were seeing the highest concentration of fires. Can you just speak to what are you seeing there? Is there a pattern or?
Well, these areas are, the very densely populated areas. And these are some of the areas where we're having a harder time, like spreading the information about the Sound the Alarm program. I don't know if there's reservations there for people that maybe possibly are living in maybe an overcrowded apartment, or they're worried about, people from agencies looking for legality issues or subdivisions. This is not about that. This is about just getting this detector on the ceiling to save your life. So we have to spread the word and say that, look, this is nothing but getting these detectors where they belong. So some people maybe in these areas may be harder for us for them to accept this offer. And other than that, it's just been the history of these areas have been a higher fire incidence. As far as a pattern, there was one, it's not really a pattern. There was a nickel cadmium battery that was being used, I think, in a walker for an elderly, heated up and caught fire. This is something that's new now. We haven't seen a major trend in these batteries overheating, but going back to seniors that are using some assistance for walkers and stuff. A lot of the stuff is battery operated, and some of these batteries are heating up. So that's something that we're looking into. But as far as patterns, it's just the same history with cooking and electrical.
All right, anybody else have questions? Comments, concerns? All righty, seeing none on this. All right, thank you, Captain Calabella. And I guess for our district managers, are there any other things you want to discuss or bring up, or events or anything? All righty, I guess not everybody had their coffee this morning. All right, any updates from the office?
Yes, sir, we actually have a couple of updates from the office. So just if you give me just 1 second. So a couple of events this month, starting each Thursday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Beginning this month, the borough president will have in the Immigrant Welcome Center will be hosting a community mediation service staff member who will be helping on a first, with appointment only, will be helping people who with the one-time payment program immigrant residents who lost income during COVID. And also we will be having an attorney. So if you guys have any questions regarding that, please call our main number, the 718-286-0644. The office is still accepting donations for Haiti until the 22nd. Our office is open 24 hours a day and the box is in the main lobby. So if you would like to stop by and drop off any canned goods, any non-perishables, any personal items, please feel free. You have until the 22nd. Also, the borough president will be hosting a town hall on September 22nd at 6:30 at the Variety Boys and Girls Club in Astoria. If you have any questions or you need the flyer, although I believe I've already sent it out to everyone, please reach out to me. I will send you the flyer. And last but not least, on September 16th at 2 p.m., the borough president will be hosting a job fair. The link is online. Again, if you have any questions, please reach out. And that is all on my end.
All righty. All right. Well, I want to thank everybody. Great to see you all.